Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the Bat Châtillon Bourrasque. It's the Tier 8 French premium medium tank. It's located on the north spawn of Serene Coast, and this one is under the command of markbug of Cuball. And he sent us in 2 replays. This is the first of them. Game on. 105mm main gun, capable of 360 alpha, 2-shot autoloader. Oh, he's literally flying around the battlefield. It's capable of doing 720 if it gets its 2 shots off and penetrates the enemy. It's also capable with the standard rounds of doing 190mm per pen, but with the premium rounds, which is what he's loaded, it's 240mm. So at tier 8 he can definitely penetrate a lot of enemy vehicles. This is a tier 8 game with only tier 8s in it, so he's got the potential to do it. Now the Bat Châtillon Bourrasque is basically a combination of the Bat Chat 12-ton, which is a light tank, and of course the EBR 105, which is another light tank. But well, Wargaming thinks if you combine those 2 tanks together you actually get a medium. It is about medium size, but it's a fast, small medium, not a light tank as such. But of course, this tank has now come to dominate the game in many ways. Now you can probably see he's got a mark of achievement. That's the high caliber one on the side of this vehicle at the moment. And I'm sure that he's probably working on more crumbs. I did say he was flying around the battlefield. I didn't think that he would literally fly, but that appears to be what he's doing. Yes, this thing is capable of generating 62 kilometers an hour, and that is fast for a medium. Okay, setting up a nice little ambush position. Let's put the bushes in such a way that he can take advantage if the enemy pushes. Mind you, it does have a long reload, the book reload, 21.54 seconds by the book, and a 2-second intra-clip reload. We'll have to wait and see exactly how much markbug actually has for his long reload. Obviously, the fact that he's loaded nothing but APCR and a couple of HE rounds just for a reset if he needs it, means that he is definitely trying to produce as much damage on the enemy as possible. Trying to get those marks of excellence is so important. He's spotted a lot already. He's just spotted an SU-130. Now he's spotted a Progetto. Of course, the Progetto and the Bourrasque between them are the 2 tanks that have had the most effect upon the game recently. Used to be in the past the Defender was one of the tanks that had the most effect, but of course these tanks with the autoloaders and the oscillating turrets, yeah, they seem to do quite nicely. And of course in the Progetto's case, it's the auto reloader that actually had the biggest effect. Well, he's spotting these guys but not shooting them yet, but that may change. He decided not to shoot the Lurver, mainly because they do have very strong turrets, and all he could see was the top of the turret on that particular occasion. And he's just doing a spotting job, even though he's not a light tank. Medium tanks aren't capable of doing it. In fact, he's spotted another 2, a Scorpion G and a Skoda. Well, he can definitely pen a Scorpion, but he needs to move now. Now you notice he actually placed himself, so he was actually looking or driving the opposite way. He was looking over his rear deck as he was checking the enemy out, and that meant he could actually pull away really quickly. You can see his reload time 18.87, so he's actually knocked off 3 seconds off the reload time altogether. And yes, he is doing well, because you look at all those tanks he has spotted. If only he could get enough that he could shoot at. There's the SU-130P again. Unfortunately, the embankment is actually preventing him getting a shot on that direction, but he might get shots in the other direction because the enemy is now not opposed up on the corner. But I think they're dropping down into the depression. I might have a shot at the type. Oh, the C69, not the type, sorry. Yes, if that guy moves forward again, I think that guy's sixth sense went off, and that's why he suddenly realized, yeah, he needed to pull back. And we just lost the Progetto 46 down in the dip, and the SU-130 PM is moving up. Now we've got a shot. He decided not to shoot on the Skoda, though. I think he might do it the next time, if he can get both shots off in time. I definitely have a go at the T69. He missed the chance to get the Emil there, but he gets him this time. Unfortunately, yeah, that's it. You need to fire through the rail, not just the. You can actually you don't need to shoot over it. You can actually shoot directly through, and then he's not marking the target. It's the same with snowdrifts. If you actually come across the ridgeline, you can usually shoot straight through the side of the snowdrift. The shell velocity is such that even though it's fairly quick, it's probably not quick enough and precise enough like a Leopard to actually hit the side of a turret like the Emil unless you're relatively close to them. And yes, we've got the SU-130 PM. That's a useful kill. There's no Arty in this game, but just look at the numbers at the moment. 6 versus 10. Yeah, they're 4 ahead of us. And they've also got nearly 1,500 hit points extra. So we're not doing too well at the moment. And he's really basically holding the center of the map. Because we've only got one tank, the Olympic, who's covering the peninsula. And our other tanks are actually now holding the other 4, or the other 3 are actually holding the approach from the west. There's the Type. And here comes the T69. Wait for him to come fully out. Yep, gets the first one in. Gets the second one in. Changes position straight away. Drives off in the direction that will actually give him the most cover, which of course is these buildings. Now he could cut through and come up around them. The T69 is going to be very wary about coming this route because there's so much cover that it might be dangerous for him. The G-Saw has come through the gap and he's now approaching our teammate from the rear. Our Olympics in trouble, but we're reloaded and we lose the Olympic, but the G-Saw is a one-shot. He takes one hit and he's gone. Another kill. That's 2. T69's trying to approach. Remember, he's an autoloader as well. Ow! He got one in. I think if that reminds me, it's a 90mm autoloader. Okay, so there's only 3 left on our team. He really does need to get that Skoda if he can. That's a 3-shot autoloader as well. If he comes around this corner, there we go. Okay. 1 shot. Lovely. That's 3 kills. Right, the enemy's back in the cap, so we need to approach. Oh, no, they want to kill all. They've actually left the cap, and in fact, it's the conceiver. Now, our chance will be to actually come up behind the enemy. So we could do that by going the long way around onto the peninsula and coming up behind them. He wants to try and do that. He's going to have to drive all the way across the peninsula. And he's been spotted by the XM. There he is. Take advantage. Yes! And he's got another kill. That's 4. So there's 3 on his team left. The numbers have been equaled. Unfortunately, the Kust is taking a bit of damage. That's a couple of 90mm rounds, but he's managed to get through the gap, though that rock is, his turning circle is not that great. But he's fully loaded, ready to go, and the T69 is coming our way. So he probably doesn't anticipate that we're coming up behind him, and he's not a 1-shot, he might be a 2-shot, but he doesn't want to meet us. You can tell that. He's trying to get away from us, and he won't be able to get away. And there's another kill. That's 5. He's 1 short of getting a Top Gun. Now, does he pop the reload or use the shell? I pop the reload. Oh, no, he can't pop the reload. Sorry, the time. He's short on time. He's trying to go through the gap and come up behind the enemy. With 10 seconds left, he might actually get a defender medal off this. And there he is. And that's another kill, and he's got his defender. Now, can he win the game? He's got to reload. And unfortunately, he's going to take a hit from the Scorpion. He manages to get away from the guy. Would you believe that? And now he's got a shot. 1 in, 2 in. Oh, wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. The BZ goes in for a ram. Now we just need another shell, please. And the Scorpion goes down to the BZ166. And that is a win for markbug. Well, that was a hectic game towards the end, but it was also a first ace tanker for markbug of Cue Ball in the Bourrasque. Congratulations, you've broken your duck. You've now got 1 ace. Now you're going to get dozens of more. He got a spotter badge for spotting at least 1,000 hit points of damage. Fire for effect for doing more damage than hit points through his own vehicle. Bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. He got 5 exactly. He got a defender medal. He reset the cap to get enough defender points to actually get at least 70 and save the day. He got a Top Gun for getting at least 6 kills in this game. He got 6 exactly. And he got a scout medal. Amazingly, in a medium tank, he got a scout medal for spotting at least 9 enemy vehicles, being the first one spotting them. His win rate from that game, 9,885, which is super unicum and a lot more. And a very good game in the Bourrasque. Let's have a look at team score. Didn't get the highest damage in the game. Sadly, no, he missed out. He didn't get 20%. Neither did the SU-130PM, who got the highest damage in the game. He got 4,048 hit points of damage, but he didn't survive the game. markbug did. Mark, of course, hit the Defender, Top Gun, and Scout, but he did come close to getting the high caliber. When it came to the third highest damage in the game, that actually goes to the GeForce 1008, who he did a quick one-shot on after he killed the Olympic. When it came to kills, we can see markbug easily got that one. 6 kills to him, twice as many as the SU-130PM, who only got 3 kills, and 2 kills went to the Olympic on his team. The XM57, the T69, the Progetto 46, and the SU-130PM on the enemy team. And when it came to base XP, he easily claimed that one too. So he got 2 of the top, but missed out on the third. That just missed out by 1 shot, I would say. 1,632 went to markbug, 1,178 went to the SU-130PM on his own team, and they were the only 2 who managed to make it over 1,000 base, with the third place going to the Olympic, who managed 939. He fired 15 rounds, only 15 in that entire game. Mind you, he was using the APCR, the premium rounds. He got 14 direct hits. Every shot he fired penetrated the enemy. 3,881 hit points, of which 754 were at more than 300 meters. I'm almost hoarse. He received 2 hits from the enemy, both penetrated. I'm afraid the armor on the Bat Châtillon Bourrasque is very thin indeed. The strongest armor is only 40 millimeters. That's on the front of the hull. On everywhere else, it's under 20. It's 20 millimeters or under. And so, yes, it's a very weak tank when it comes to armor. You don't want to be touched at all. If you are touched, you're more likely going to get penetrated. You're only lucky if the shell actually hits the tracks, because that would stop the shell, but not by much. 10 enemy vehicles were spotted, so he got 1 more than he actually needed to get that scout medal. 9 enemy vehicles were damaged, 6 were killed, and he got 2,235 hit points of spotting assists in that game. He actually collected 96 defense points by resetting the cap enough times, multiple times. He earned 68,011 credits profit out of the game, even though he used premium ammo. And he also took away 2,693 experience points. So now I'm expecting markbug is going to come back to me sometime in the near future with more ace tankers. In fact, more than just ace tankers. I'm expecting he's going to come back with Radley Walters with this little thing because he positioned himself very well whilst he was out there right at the front, turned all the way round so that he can make a quick getaway if he needed to, but sitting there, spotting the enemy, doing a marvellous job and picking up all that assist in the process. So I hope you enjoyed that replay. I certainly did. It was very hectic towards the end. He did fire both those rounds into the Scorpion, but unfortunately he had to then wait for the wrong reload. And well, the BZ was going to squeeze out enough hit points out of that Scorpion whilst he was reloading to get a kill out of it. So he missed out on the last kill of the game, but he takes the credit for actually saving his team and, of course, getting the biggest base experience out of that whole episode. If you enjoyed this replay, please give it a like, do subscribe to our channel, leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm, and thank you for watching.